How's it going today, guys? Ben here, Sodak. Been a while since I've done one of these, but I wanted to get on here and talk to y'all about something that I discovered. Kind of by happen chance, actually. So I'll get into a little bit of a backstory here. So last year about this time, I got word that they were doing a video contest. Cervicide. It's a pretty good hunting community, I'll call it. They have a mobile app, a blog, a bunch of stuff like that. It's actually a really cool place to be. And they were doing a video contest for members, and actually non-members too, because I wasn't a member. I wasn't a member when this video contest took place. So I get word of this video contest, and so I start emailing Torin from Cervicide. He is their, I don't even know what to call it, probably media manager type person. Anyway, so he kind of fills me in on the details of this contest, and so I'm like, hey, you know what? Why not? I'm gonna put in for it. I'm gonna see what happens. There were 4 prizes, okay? 4th, 3rd, 2nd, 1st. All 4 winners got a bow. And then depending on if you got 1st, 2nd, 3rd, or 4th, there was extra stuff that came with it. Honestly, I'm filming this right now. I don't know what place I got. I just know I was top 4, as you can see. And I actually, the video that I posted was the buck that I shot last year on Veterans Day. That was the one that I entered. And I got top 4. I don't know how many entries there were. I don't know what place I got yet. I'm still waiting. They're supposed to announce it this week. It's October 25th. October 25th, Monday. And he said, go ahead, do the video, no problem. By the time you're done with it and release it, we should have already announced the winner, so you should be good to go. So, as being a top 4 placer of this video contest, I won a bow. Yeah, I know. It's crazy. Crazy awesome. So I won a Darton Deer Slayer, a Cervicide edition. Now, I believe this is the Maverick. It'd be the 2020 Maverick or 2019 Maverick. It's a smooth shooting bow. And this bow is a shooter, and I'm gonna get more into it, but essentially, it's a 33-inch axle, 6-inch brace height, pretty standard bow. I think my Traverse is 6.5, and it's 33 inches brace height. It's a good bow. I really like the back wall. They have these adjustable cams. I can't remember what they're called. Dual syncing cams, I think. Yeah, dual sync compound cams. But they're super adjustable. I think they go from, they go from 25 inches to 30.5. That is what this is. This is a super adjustable bow. Poundages weigh from, I believe 40, don't quote me on that, but 50, 60, 70. And then they have 80 and 85% let off, like most standard bows do these days. This is a shooter bow. It really is. So I'm just gonna kind of talk about a few things, and we're just gonna kind of go step by step in on a couple things that I really like. We're just gonna hop right into it quick, all right? Okay, so first thing I want to talk about is back wall. Now I like a pretty specific back wall. I like hard, but just a little give. I like just a tiny bit of sponge, almost none, but a little. That's what I love about my Matthews that I have. It's fairly spongy, but when you get there, you get there. And so just kind of a little, this is gonna kind of be hard to demonstrate, but back wall, there is, look at the cams. You can see the cams moving. That's just how much sponge there is. Literally almost none, okay? Like when you get in, boom, you're there. Like there's almost no sponge. The other thing I want to talk about is the smoothness of the draw cycle. Now, this is a 60-pound bow. That's the only reason I wasn't running this for hunting this year, if we're being 100% honest. They sent me this bow back in, Cervicide did. They sent me this bow back in, I want to say beginning to middle of August, because they were giving me plenty of time to get it set up and get ready to hunt with it. I totally would have 100% hunted with this bow, except it's 60 pounds. 60 pounds for me is fine. I still enjoy shooting this bow, but that 70 pounds that my Traverse is gives me that extra distance for antelope and mule deer. That 60, 70 yards that I want when I'm antelope and mule deer hunting, because I'm not a super skinny, stealthy guy, so I have to be able and willing to take those longer shots at antelope and mule deer, because I'm not gonna get within 5, 10 yards of those things like a lot of guys do. Knowing that, I know I need a bow that has more poundage that I can, that's why I also run lighter arrows. A lot of people are running 550 grain arrows. 450 to 475 is what I run. For my tree stand setup, which this is my tree stand setup, I did throw Glory Knocks on the back and 125 grain broadhead. So I'm running, I think I'm just under 500 grains, 495, mainly because it is a slower bow. I'm not pushing that 488 or 288 like I am with my Traverse. This bow I'm running right at 260, 255 I think, with a much lighter arrow, and it's not giving me that trajectory that I want at distance. I could no problem shoot 60, 70, 80 yards with this bow, but the trajectory that I want for an antelope who's super skittish already, it's not where I want to be for antelope and mule deer. So this bow I decided is just my tree stand rig this year, which is great. I love it. I'm going to do a lot of tree stand hunting. Antelope season's already over, and as far as mule deer go, I might get out 1 or 2 more times this year, but my schedule's been crazy, so I'm not going to get out as much as I want. But draw cycle, I want you to look at the draw cycle. It is pretty darn smooth. It is pretty darn smooth. If you can tell, pull, 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 pull. A little bit of a hump right at the very, very end. Almost none at all. It is almost all evenly distributed throughout the pull until this last little right there. The last, and that's when you're kind of settling into the valley there anyway. So the pull is extremely smooth and even the entire way back until you get to about here. And that's when you start falling into that valley. So as far as the pull goes, I'm very impressed with it. I like the smoothness of it. I like that it doesn't, there's not a lot of humps to get over, and it's just one fluid motion back. I love it. I can't wait to get 80 or 70 pound mods on this bad boy. It is an 80% let off, because in South Dakota you can't hunt with anything more than 80% let off. So I do have 80% let off mods in here, but I think most of them generally come out with 85. So you have to kind of ask for those specially if you're gonna get those. But other than that, it's a very light bow. I want to say it's under 5 pounds. I believe it was 4.6 pounds. So it's a super light bow, and it's actually pretty dang well balanced too. So that was a huge, obviously with all my stuff on it, might be a little top heavy, but I mean, with all the weight on it, that's pretty dang stable. Almost dead nuts right in the middle of the burger button. So this is a shooter bow. I love shooting it. Honestly, if it wasn't for antelope season and if these were 70 pound mods, I would have switched everything from that setup to this one. But since it was 60 pound mods, I didn't want to disturb my long range missile. I wanted to keep that separate. So what I did was I basically just got a new bow and I set it up. So I had this sight. This is the Easy V sight. You've probably heard about it. I've had this for a number of years. I actually bought this around the same time I bought my Traverse. I love the sight, I really do. I think it's a great concept. The only problem that I had with it was going into 3D season, I like being able to take those tack-like shots, those mountain archery fest shots. I like being able to go out and touch 50, 60, 70, 80 yards. And the problem I have with this sight is it gets so narrow down here at the bottom. It's a crapshoot down to that 50, 60 yard range. Now, that's why I love it for tree stands, because 20, 30, 40, 50 gets a little hairy, 60 gets pretty darn hairy, and then after that, good luck. But that's why I wanted this for tree stands. There's not many shots that I would take in a tree stand past 30 yards. I don't think I've killed a deer past 30 yards in a tree stand. So this is the perfect bow. I've said it before, I've said it 100 times. I like a longer axle to axle because it's gonna give you more It's gonna be more forgiving, it's gonna give you more stability, just like that longer brace height, and I want that because I'm a big guy already. So me being 6'4" in a tree stand or in a ground blind, I'm already having to shift everything around. 5 inches extra isn't gonna make a world of difference for me. It's not gonna change a dang thing that I do. And with it being as light as it is, 4.6 pounds, I can afford to haul this around anywhere. I think my Traverse ended with the front and back bar. I wanna say that's close to 11 pounds. So this thing fully loaded right now is probably 7, maybe 8. I did piece this together quite a bit. These are the Trophy Ridge stabilizers I bought a couple years ago. When I bought my new cutters for the Traverse, I just thought, you know, I'll use these on something. So this will just stay with this bow, no problem. And then I do just have the, Radical Archery Products Peep. I got the 1/4 inch. I just wanted a bigger field of view with the Easy V, and then obviously the Bowmore nose button. Now the newest addition to this bow that I'm super excited about. So far I love it, and I never thought I would say that I liked a cable driven rest, but I got this HHA Sport Virtus, the Virtus cable driven drop away. I honestly didn't think I was gonna like it. I kind of bought it because I wanted to try another cable driven, because I had a Trophy Taker cable driven rest on here, and the only reason I didn't like it was because the way the V is shaped. I noticed that my arrow would not always get fully seated in the center, and so one shot I'd be like super far right, and one shot I'd be super far left, and then I didn't want to mess anything because I could see there was different wears on the fabric. So I was just like, you know, I'm not really a huge fan of that for hunting anyways, because it's barely a full containment rest. So I decided to go with the Virtus because, one, I like the fact that I can put an arrow in there, and honestly, dudes, guys, chicks, anybody watching, it is not easy to get, it's not easy to get an arrow out of here. Like, you're not just gonna be walking through the woods and an arrow's gonna fall out. I mean, you're gonna have it planned and choreographed to get that bad boy out. So that's why I'm really excited for this. I think, and if it's true, I will be in love with HHA forever because of the quality of this. I'm actually gonna get a 4-pin slider next year for my bow build I'm gonna do next year, because I want to try the Spot Hog, and the only reason I want to try the Spot Hog, I don't like the huge housing they have, and I know they can swap that out, but I wanted to try it because I like the knob. They had this huge knob, and that was your dial, and I wanted to try that. HHA has the same thing, and it's 100% made in America, which I'm not saying Spot Hog isn't, I don't know if it is or not, but HHA is, and they have this really great program called HHA USA, which is essentially a program dedicated to just helping vets get in the outdoors and shoot bows. So I'm really, really excited to support them by buying some of their gear. I'm really excited. I already bought the Virtus, and I'm really excited to buy their sight. I can't imagine it's gonna be a sight I don't like. I do like my black gold. I have no qualms about it whatsoever. I just want to try a bigger knob to see if that might be easier for adjusting. And I don't like single pins because I like having that working range for tree stand hunting. And so I like having 3 to 4 pins just as a working range, and the fact that it slides is great. So I'm gonna do that. But other than that, that's pretty much the bow for this season. Like I said, guys, I really do like this Darton. I mean, it is a smooth shooting bow. No, I truly just think this is a great bow, and I'm kind of mad at myself because I never gave Darton a second thought. I'm not gonna lie. I was actually tempting to buy a bow. I was gonna buy a Darton, and I kept looking, and I was like, you know, a bow is a very expensive thing to buy if you're not sure about it. And we don't have any Darton dealers here in South Dakota, so it's not like I could just go test one and see if I liked it and then go from there. It was all or nothing. I was either gonna buy it or not. And then I won this contest, and I decided, hey, let's give it a shot. I'm super stoked. And I'm stoked. So stoked that I think I'm gonna buy the Spectra next year. Unless they drop another new bow, because I don't know if this was really a new bow drop or if it was just upgrading the bows they had, because it's on their website, it's like 2022 Spectra E, and then like 2022 Maverick XT. So I don't know if that was their new bow drop or if it was just them upgrading their new bow or their bows. I do know Black Eagle Arrows just bought Darton out, so Randy Kitt is probably making some changes. If you didn't know that, it's been almost a year, so I'm sorry I ruined that for you. But okay guys, so a couple things that I'm not a huge fan of, and it's really pretty minuscule, and it's really pretty cosmetic only. And this isn't specific to Darton because both the Matthews that I have the same problem. It's not unique to Darton. I think it's just having wear and tear on archery equipment. So the first one at least is. The first one that I'm not a huge fan of is I've had this bow for a couple months and it's already chipping. I don't want to say significantly, but like there's a big old gouge there. There's a couple gouges in the front there. Like around the limb pocket area where there's a little bit of motion, there's some paint chipping there too. Not a huge thing, not anything more than cosmetics really. But it's just, it'd be nice to have just a solid, and I say this about all the bows because my Matthews does the same thing. I got chipping there too. So it's, like I said, it's not really specific to Darton. I think I just noticed this a little bit more because I was so excited about it. And since I was so excited about it, I've been paying a little bit more close attention to it. So I just noticed that a little bit more. The other piece, which I believe, don't quote me on this, I believe they fixed this problem already because I think it's been kind of a thing. But if you look at the front stabilizer mount, you'll see that it's dang near shredded, okay? That is because when I undid the stabilizer for the first time, before I had my quick attaches on it, this bolt literally unscrewed. So I tightened it down really good. I got a socket out and I just tightened that sucker on there, and then I put a quick disconnect on, so even if I do decide to swap stabilizers out, it'll be much easier. But it's just, it was a little off-putting. And I do believe if you look at Lancaster Archery, PJ Riley did a review on the Spectra E for 2022, and I believe he said that they beefed this up a little bit more. So I wouldn't be too worried about that buying a new Darton. I think, like I said, they were fixing a lot of kinks from last year to this year. So, but other than that, guys, I'll shoot it once so you can kind of see how loud it is. It's comparable to every bow that I've shot. I'm gonna shoot this bad boy, and you guys can see how loud it is. There's that valley. Pretty quiet bow. Pretty quiet bow. Darton has impressed me to the point where I want to keep shooting a Darton. Darton, I believe, is the oldest bow manufacturing company out there. Don't quote me on that, but they've been around a long time. I'm excited to see what the new bows are like, and I can't wait. So I'm just really excited to start shooting a Darton again. Not again, just start shooting a Darton. Next year I'm gonna shoot one in the foreseeable future. And honestly, I'm just really, really impressed with how this feels and how much I like it. Yeah, I mean, this is the Cervicide edition. If you can't tell, it's the Deer Slayer. I'll flip it around so you can see it. This was the contest winner, so it's all decked out in Cervicide gear, which is fine. Honestly, I think it looks pretty slick. It's pretty great. The only thing I would change on it is 70-pound mods. That's it, nothing else. So other than that though, guys, be sure to like and subscribe to this video. Check out Cervicide's YouTube page. By the time you see this, the contest should be announced, so we should all be able to know what place I got. I don't know what place I got. I just know I was top 4 because I received a bow. So other than that, you and me are in the dark still. So hopefully by the end of this week, they'll have that dropped. If you're watching it much later than this week, then check it out and you'll probably, hopefully, see me holding the first place trophy. But otherwise, either way, it was just a great time competing. And if you have any questions, drop a comment. Don't forget to check me out on Instagram, Sodak Horizon, all one word, lowercase. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you on that Sodak Horizon. Take care. Happy hunting. Stay warm. Be safe. Shoot straight. Take it easy.